Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video we'll be talking about how can you use mocks as a tool for your GRE prep. In this video we'll cover everything, right from what are the free resources for taking mocks, how many mocks should you take, and what should be the gap between them. So it's definitely going to be an interesting video. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, I have bought this microphone to improve the audio quality. So definitely let me know if you find the audio quality to be better than usual in the comment section below. So now, without further ado, let's get started. So, the most popular question, how many mocks should you write? So there is no hard and fast number that I can give you, but a good rule of thumb would be to write around 10 to 15 mocks in an exam-like environment. This is the most important thing. An exam-like environment means you cannot take any breaks in between, you have to attempt all these sections, and you also have to follow all the instructions that you would follow on the actual day. So 10 to 15 mocks is a good rule of thumb, and you should definitely aim towards attempting these many mocks. Going forward, these are the few important things which I think you should keep in mind. First one is that mocks are the only resources that can help you to build stamina for the GRE exam. The GRE exam is a very taxing and a hectic exam because you have to sit there for 4 hours straight. You get a 15-minute break in between, but still you're going to get tired at the end of the 4 hours. So initially, it's definitely going to be difficult, and the important thing is that you have to train your brain to be at its peak focus for the entire 4-hour duration. Mocks will definitely help you to build the stamina because while studying, we usually don't study for more than 1 hour or 2, and also with social media, our attention spans are decreasing. So mocks will help you to increase your stamina. Second thing is, don't skip the essays. Usually in mocks, people tend to skip the essays and attempt only the verbal and the quantitative section. This is a huge mistake which you are making, because if you skip the essays which are at the beginning of the test, then that one crucial hour will usually drain your energy over there. So on the actual day, after writing those essays, you will get tired even before you start your first section, which may be quant or verbal. So definitely don't skip the essays during your mocks. Third thing is attempt the experimental section as well. So what I've seen is that some students attempt only 4 sections, that is 2 quant and 2 verbal, because one of the section is unscored. But mind you, you don't know which section is unscored on the actual exam. There's no way for you to predict that. And hence, during your preparation as well, you should attempt all the 5 sections, that is 2 quant, 2 verbal and 1 experimental section, which may be verbal or quant. Next thing is take the mock at the time of your actual exam. So for me, the exam slot was 10 AM to 2 PM. I made sure that I wrote every mock at the same time. This made sure that my biological clock was set and I was training my brain to work really hard during that slot of 4 hours. Finally, reviewing your mocks is more important than just attempting your mocks. If you just go on attempting the mocks, it's no better than just practicing a few questions here and there. But what mocks help you with is that they will help you to analyze your mistakes, how you are performing on the battlefield. So if you are not reviewing your mocks, then you are not gaining much from them. And don't worry, in this video, I'll also tell you how you can analyze your mocks so that you can get the most out of them. This is another frequently asked question. How often should you take the mocks? Should it be like every month, every week, or how many mocks should you take every week? So yes, the answer is that initially you should take less mocks, but as your exam approaches closer, you should increase the number of mocks that you are taking. And a good rule of thumb is that your preparation should start with a mock and it should end with a mock. So even before you start your preparation, take a mock so that it will help you to evaluate your current level, and hence it will help you to decide how much you need to improve to achieve your target scores that will help you to get into your dream universities. Also, at the end, maybe 2 or 3 days before the actual exam, you should take the official ETS Power Prep 2, because it will help you to give an accurate estimate of what your actual score might be. So moving on, I will share with you some of the free mock resources that I have personally used and I found them to be really helpful. This is the list of mocks that I have personally used, and all of them are free. So the Power Prep 1 and 2 are the mocks which are provided by official ETS, and it comes free along with the examination fees. So once you register for the exam, you will get these 2 mocks on your portal and you can take them as many times as you want. Next is the ETS official guide. These are 2 in number and you will find them in the ETS official guide. You can easily find the PDF online. Next thing is the Princeton mocks. They are again 2 in number and you can access them from the Princeton website. Next is Manhattan and Kaplan. These 2 are also good resources and you can access them from the official websites of Manhattan and Kaplan. Finally, Crunch Prep. Crunch Prep is one of my favorite mocks because it gives an accurate evaluation of your score. And finally, the coaching class mocks. If you have enrolled for a coaching class, then you will get a set of 5 to 6 mocks. Otherwise, you can also purchase the Manhattan ETS mocks. They will be 5 in number and you can check the cost on the official website. This is definitely not an exhaustive list, but these are some of the best resources that you can use to prepare for the GRE. So now, I will share with you my mock scores. So as you can see, I took 15 mocks. I started my preparation on 5th of January 2020 and my actual exam was on 22nd February 2020. As I said earlier, you should start your preparation with a mock and you should end it with a mock. The best way to do this and to get an accurate evaluation of your current level is to take the Power Prep Mock 1 at the beginning of your preparation. I took this mock and I understood what was my base level, because with preparation you are definitely going to get a higher score and you should think of it as a safety net that your score won't fall below this level. And finally, as you can see, 2 days before my exam, I have taken the Power Prep Mock 2. This also gave an accurate evaluation of my score. What I have observed is that usually your score will be within plus or minus 2 range of the score which you get on the Power Prep 2. So you should take the Power Prep mock maybe a couple of days before your exam so that you can get an idea about how your score is going to be on the day of the exam, because after the GRE you will be given an option to enter the names of 4 universities to which you can send the scores for free. So if you have an idea about what your score is going to be, you can decide the list of universities that you want to send your scores to. Moving on, you can see that in between I have taken a lot of tests. CBT 1 to 6 are the ones which I got from my GRE coaching class. They were on the tougher side and I never scored more than 310 on them. But I was not worried about it. So this is one more thing to remember. Never get bogged down by low mock scores. These are just parameters that measure how your preparation is going and whether you are actually able to implement the strategies which you have planned during your preparation. Next comes the ETS OG1 and OG2 mock. These mocks are really good because the English section will definitely give you an idea about what are the kind of questions that you can expect on the actual day. Next comes the Princeton and Manhattan and Kaplan. So these 3 are also great resources, but the Princeton and the Kaplan ones seem to be easy because I scored a bit higher in them, whereas I found Crunch Prep to be very accurate. One advantage of using Crunch Prep is that they will also grade your essays. This will definitely help you to evaluate your performance on the essays. I would also like to mention that I attempted the essays for all the exams, but you can see the scores for only a few exams. This is because these are the scores that were given to me by my teacher. I showed them to my teacher to get feedback and how I could improve my essays. As you can see, initially my scores were low and also my coaching class used to check them more critically. But if you see over here, I have scored pretty good scores. 5.5, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and eventually on the final exam, I got an AWA score of 4.5, and it's definitely a really good score. For the AWA, I'll say that anything about 4 is a good score and you don't need to worry about it. So these were my mock scores, and the reason behind showing this to you was that if you get low scores such as 302, 308, 310, don't get bogged down, because treat mocks as a tool to implement the strategies that you have planned and see if they are working. Sometimes they will fail and sometimes they'll work, but you have to make sure that in the actual exam all your strategies work. So moving on, how to analyze your mocks. We've covered the list of free resources that you can use to take the mocks. Then we've covered how many mocks you should take, and lastly, the most important thing that is remaining is how to analyze mocks so that you can gain the maximum output from them. So some general tips are: maintain a notebook to note down your mistakes. This is really important. You should maintain a good notebook and you should write down each and every mistake that you make so that the next time you don't repeat the same mistake. Next thing is maintain an Excel sheet to keep a track of your performance. Why I'm asking you to maintain an Excel sheet is that so that you can easily calculate the average scores, the maximum and minimum, because if you do it on a paper, then it's going to be additional work for you. But for noting down your mistakes, I would recommend you to make a notebook instead of an Excel sheet, because when you actually write down the mistakes, then you will be more focused and you will make sure that next time you don't repeat them. Next thing is note down the number of questions that you got wrong and the number of questions that you didn't attempt. So these two are very important parameters. In the actual exam, you have to attempt all the questions because there is no negative marking on the GRE. But in the mocks, sometimes you won't get time. That's why you wouldn't be able to attempt all the questions. So whatever it is, write down the reason in the notebook and also make sure that you note down how many questions you got wrong, because this will help you to calculate your accuracy as it is mentioned in point number 4. The GRE, as I already mentioned, doesn't have negative marking. What you have to do is that you have to attempt all the questions and you have to attempt them accurately and correctly. So your accuracy and speed are parameters which you should definitely focus on. In the next slide, I'll show you some images from my notebook that I had maintained to analyze my mocks. As you can see, this is the analysis for the CBT 3 exam that I attempted from the coaching mock. As you can see, I have also analyzed the issue task and the argument task. What you can do is you can write how long the essay was, the number of words. You can write how many typos did you make, because that's definitely going to happen because you will be in a hurry. And on the actual exam, you want to make sure that you make as less errors as possible. So noting these mistakes down will definitely help you to make sure that you're not repeating the same mistakes again and again. Over here, I have also written down that the strategy successfully implemented. Whatever strategy you have planned, you should also analyze if it worked during the mock or it didn't work, and accordingly, you should plan your further strategies. Next, I have also analyzed the quant section and the verbal section. As you can see, I have noted down the number of silly mistakes that I made, the questions that I couldn't attempt because I did not have sufficient time, and the questions I couldn't solve. So make sure that you write down these things. They'll help you to analyze what is lacking in your preparation. Is it that you have not completed the syllabus, or is it that your speed is lacking, or is it that you find some questions difficult to crack and you need more practice? So whatever it is, you will be able to figure it out if you write down all the data in one place and you analyze it properly. Again, on the next page, I've shown you extracts from my verbal analysis. Over here, I've written about unattempted questions, wrong questions, the accuracy. Over here, you can note down if you didn't get the question because of vocabulary problem, or you didn't analyze the RC properly, or you didn't get time to solve. So whatever it is, write down these mistakes and make sure that you don't repeat them. So this was all about the mocks video that I wanted to share with you all. We have covered the free resources that you can use for mocks, how many mocks you should take, how often you should take them, and finally, how to analyze your mocks so that you get the most out of them. With all this info, I am sure that you are equipped to tackle the GRE exam. If you like this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, then smash that subscribe button and join the family. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all in the next one. If you have any video suggestions or any other queries, then please put them in the comment section below. Thank you and all the very best.